You probably think you know what Bitcoin can do, right? Send, receive, hold. But what if I told you that's just scratching the surface? Deep inside Bitcoin, there's a powerful, hidden programming language that can create incredibly complex financial rules. The problem? For years, using it has been like playing with fire. Today, we're going to unlock that hidden language safely.
Seriously, think about it. What if you could tell your money, hey, you can be spent by 2 of my 3 business partners, but if my wallet doesn't move for a whole year, my family gets access with a backup key. This isn't some sci-fi concept. This is programmable money. And the craziest part? It's been built into Bitcoin from day one. So, let's pull back the curtain.
All right, so at the very heart of all this magic is a language called Bitcoin script. This is the engine that makes everything from the Lightning Network to complex multi-key wallets possible. But, and this is a huge but, there's a catch.
That quote, that's from Andrew Poelstra, one of the brilliant minds who actually helped create the solution we're talking about today. And he's describing what it's like to work with raw Bitcoin script. It's so complex, so full of traps, what developers literally call footguns, that even the experts are terrified to use it directly. One tiny typo, and your funds could be gone. Forever. So before we jump into the amazing solution, we really need to get why Bitcoin script is such a minefield. It all comes down to a fundamental clash between how we humans think and how computers actually operate.
Here's the best analogy. Trying to use raw Bitcoin script is like coding an assembly language. I mean, look at it. It's incredibly powerful for the machine, it's super efficient, but for a human being, it's just a cryptic wall of text. What we really need is something more like Python, a high-level language, where what you write actually looks like what you mean, and the risk of a catastrophic mistake is way, way lower.
And these dangers, they aren't just theoretical. They create a real security nightmare. With raw script, it's almost impossible to be 100% sure your code does what you think it does, and it's even harder to prove it doesn't have some hidden loophole someone can exploit. On top of that, just figuring out the transaction fee is a pain, and the whole thing can be messed with by other people on the network. This isn't just an inconvenience, it's a massive risk.
So how do we fix this? How do we translate our simple, human ideas into Bitcoin's complex machine language without blowing our own feet off? Well, this is where Miniscript comes in. It is the smart, elegant solution to this very dangerous problem.
Now, what's really important to get is that Miniscript is not a new blockchain, it's not a new token, it's not some layer 2 solution that requires a whole network upgrade. Nope, it's a really clever framework that lets us use the Bitcoin script we already have, but in a way that's structured, predictable, and most importantly, safe.
And this leads us to the perfect metaphor. Trying to build a smart contract with raw script is like being handed a bucket of raw plastic pellets. Sure, in theory you could make anything, but in reality you'd have to be an expert chemical engineer to not end up with a useless melted blob. Miniscript, on the other hand, gives you Lego bricks. They're standardized, they're safe, they're designed to interlock perfectly, letting you build these incredible, complex, and reliable structures without any fear of them just falling apart.
Okay, so how does this actually work? Miniscript creates this simple 3-step bridge from a human idea to secure Bitcoin code. And when you see this transformation, its value just becomes crystal clear.
Right, so step 1. It all starts with a goal written in plain English, something anybody can read and understand. For example, a standard 2 of 3 business wallet, but with a backup plan in case something goes wrong. This is our human intention. Then, in step 2, Miniscript translates that simple idea into a logical policy. You can see it here. It's like a clean, logical flowchart. It has clear and or branches, which makes it easy for a computer to read, but also simple enough for a human developer to look at and say, yep, that's exactly what I meant. And finally, step 3. This is where the magic happens. Miniscript takes that clean, logical policy and compiles it into the raw, complicated, kind of scary Bitcoin script that the network actually understands. It writes that intimidating code for you. It acts as a safe and reliable translator between our world and the machines. So, now that we have a safe way to build, what can we actually construct with these new financial Lego bricks? This is where programmable money stops being a developer's toy and starts getting really exciting and practical for everyone. The possibilities are, well, pretty vast, but they fall into a few key areas. We can create much smarter multi-signature wallets. We can build sophisticated inheritance plans, and we can set up really robust security policies for businesses that are holding Bitcoin. Let's just zoom in on that inheritance use case, because this is a game changer. With Miniscript, you can create a wallet where you have full control,
But if you don't make a single transaction for, let's say, 1 year, a backup key held by your estate lawyer or a family member automatically becomes active. This solves one of the single biggest challenges in Bitcoin self-custody, all without weakening your security today.
So what does this all add up to? What does this mean for the future of Bitcoin? Well, it's about moving way beyond just being a simple store of value and finally unlocking its full potential as truly programmable money.
Look, if there's one single thing you take away from all this, let it be this. Miniscript takes the most powerful and, frankly, dangerous features of Bitcoin and makes them safe and accessible for developers to build with. And that means regular users can now get all the benefits of enhanced security and amazing new features without ever having to look at that scary code.
This is a huge shift. It transforms Bitcoin from static money into dynamic money, money that can carry its own rules with it. And it leaves us with a really fascinating question. Now that we can finally program money safely, what incredible new financial tools are we going to build next?
And that's our look into Miniscript. If you found this explainer useful, a follow, like, or share is always appreciated. For more deep dives like this, you can find What Bitcoin Taught Me on X, Nostr, Blue Sky, Threads, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Thanks for watching.